Each minute, enough sunlight reaches the Earth's surface to meet the entire world's energy demand for a full year. Thanks to photovoltaic technology, harnessing that energy is now within the grasp of the average homeowner. Residential solar power promises a source of electricity whose rates will never increase, will never be taxed, and will never run out. But questions abound. What about government subsidies? Which systems do I need? How does it work? What solar company should I use? Join us as we answer these questions and more.
Brian Buckley, president of Buckley Solar. And Brian, tell us what encouraged you to start Buckley Solar?
You know, it just made sense. We needed an alternative to the high cost of electricity to run heaters and air conditioners, and it seemed to be a good fit for us, especially right now with all of the tax credits and the rebates that you can get.
Now talk to us about some of the main advantages to having a solar power system installed.
I think the best advantage is that you don't have to pay for electricity. It becomes free, it's yours. You are in control of your system. In other words, you don't have to rely on the electricity company. You are taking that on for yourself. So right off the bat, you are in control, and then you take advantage of the lower costs for your home's electricity usage. Plus the fact that you're cutting down on your carbon footprint. You're getting all these rebates. Somebody else is paying for 40% of your job. Those are all definitely positive things.
Now, when someone contacts Buckley Solar about a solar power system, what's the first thing you do?
We need to have 12 months of electricity bills so that we can make sure that it's going to be a good fit for you to have photovoltaic system installed on your roof. The other things that we want to look at is what you have in your home as far as appliances, lighting, windows, even possibly air conditioning. We want to look at all of that and put together the best package we can for you.
Now, I understand that Buckley Solar really recommends a personal on-site visit. I know other companies can talk to you over the phone and give customers an estimate, or they can go online. Why is the on-site visit so important? And is there a cost to it?
There's absolutely no cost to it. It's free of charge. We really have to come out and see your home, your house. We have to make sure that it is compatible, that it even makes sense to do a photovoltaic system. Otherwise, we don't want you wasting your money for something that isn't going to work for you.
Now tell us, what are some of the considerations that need to be made before Buckley Solar can reasonably estimate the scope of a project?
We have to make sure that your home is a good candidate for photovoltaic system. We have to make sure that you have plenty of sunlight that will gather around the array to be able to produce the electricity. We have to make sure that your roof is in decent shape. If not, maybe we need to look at other alternatives, maybe a ground array or maybe even a shade structure array.
Now, I understand there are different types of solar systems on the market. Can you explain the difference between them, specifically photovoltaic and thermal?
Sure, the photovoltaic system actually produces electricity. Then you can either be able to run your appliances in your home, your air conditioner, your lights, all of those kind of things. Any power that you don't use will actually go out through your main panel and into the grid for the power company. Solar thermal, what that is doing is that's actually heating up water or transferring heat of water or some form of liquid. That's to heat your swimming pool, your spa, your domestic hot water in your home, and then of course also your space heating. Solar thermal does not produce electricity.
Now, you mentioned briefly how photovoltaic systems work. Break it down for us. Explain the components.
A photovoltaic system consists of the solar panels. They are hooked up into strings, which is called an array. An array is, you see all the panels on the roof, that's an array. Then you run the wiring from the array into your inverter, and then that changes the voltage from direct current voltage to alternating current. Then it actually will go into your home and run through your lines, through your receptacles, through your lights, through your appliances, and then anything left over will actually go back out into the grid and will actually run the meter backwards for you.
So Brian, what kind of savings can a customer expect?
You know, it depends on what size of a system you have installed in your home. But if you have a big enough system, you can actually get a net zero for your electricity bill for your home. In other words, all of your electricity is being produced by the photovoltaic system. Or maybe you just want to get out of your higher tiers where you're paying too much for the electricity because of the electrical company charges a higher amount for more usage in your home.
Now, with regards to the installation process, can you give us some idea of the amount of time it'll take and what kind of roof you have to have?
Well, when you say start to end, if you're talking about signing a contract to the time that we finish, it could be as much as a couple of weeks. But the actual installation time is usually about 2 to 3 days. Obviously, your roof needs to be of good quality to where it's going to be there for the next quarter of a century and beyond.
Let's say a customer's roof isn't quite right for a solar system. Are there other options?
There are. We can actually do a ground mount array. If you have space around your home, we could actually put the array on the ground. The other thing we can do is we can build a shade structure for you, which might be nice in the summertime and the springtime when you're outside. And then we can actually put the solar array on top of that structure.
Now, this may be a silly question, but what about the winter? What about when it's cloudy and rainy outside? Does a customer need to worry about their system?
Well, obviously, the main thing that produces electricity is the sun. But even when you have clouds, you're still going to produce some electricity. The average day is 5.5 hours of solar production in Sacramento. 5.5 hours a day, 365 days a year.
I'm hearing a lot about rebates on residential solar systems. Is this something Buckley Solar participates in? And if so, how does it work?
Absolutely. The rebates are extremely important right now. Obviously, the first is the federal tax credit, which you get 30% of the cost of your solar job, and that is not a fixed amount. In other words, there's no limit to that. So however big of a solar system you put in, the government will give you a 30% tax credit for it. And then on top of that, you get the electrical company that will give you a certain amount of rebate back per kilowatt of power that you're producing. And keep in mind that they're as much as they're ever going to be. They're only going to get less, and in 2016 they're going to completely cease to exist. The federal tax credit is 30%, no matter how big of a system you install in your home.
Now, Brian, can you give us an idea of how much the typical Buckley solar system will cost?
You know, it really depends on how big of a system you have put on your house. However, our systems start at right around $10,000. You can get a complete system installed for you, and that's the total cost. That doesn't take into consideration the rebates you'll get from your electrical company or the federal tax credit rebate.
So how good is the technology? Are the systems reliable? Can we expect it to be outdated in a couple of years?
You know, it's hard to say what's in the future, but I can say that with authority that these solar systems have been in use for years, and they have a proven history and track record of good production, and the panels are actually guaranteed for 25 years. The inverters are guaranteed for 10 years. And with every solar system that Buckley Solar installs, we give you a full 10-year parts and labor guarantee.
Now that brings up another good question. What about maintenance? Is there a lot of maintenance on them?
There's really not a lot of maintenance, but it is a good idea to have your solar panels cleaned off about twice a year. And what we recommend is when we're out taking care of your heater and your air conditioner, we can take care of your solar panels at the same time.
Okay, now Brian, there are a lot of solar companies out there. You've got a lot of competition. Why should somebody consider Buckley Solar?
You know, we've been in business since 1977. We're very reliable. Our customers know they can depend on us. We're going to be there for them.
If you'd like more information about solar power for your home or for a free, no-obligation solar audit, call Buckley Solar today at 916-348-3181. Remember, subsidies covering more than a third of your installation are still available and will never be higher than they are today, but they will run out altogether before too long. To find out how much your home is eligible for, call Buckley Solar at 916-348-3181. Buckley Solar, a legacy of customer service, a commitment to the future.